Well, I'm Rodney from Wayne and Rodney Show, and today we're going to talk about the difference between Alphards and Vellfires. So stay tuned. On my left, we have an Alphard, and on my right, we have a Vellfire. You know, many people ask me if there are so many similarities between an Alphard and a Vellfire, why does Toyota do this? What we have here now on my left is an Alphard, and on my right is a Vellfire. So let's guess which car I'm going into now. So are you able to guess which car I'm in right now? I'm sure you won't, because the interior of the Alphard and Vellfire is exactly the same. So we are in a Vellfire right now. Why don't we jump over to an Alphard and see how does the interior looks like? So I'm in an Alphard right now. Look, it's exactly the same as a Vellfire. As I mentioned earlier, the interior-wise, there's no difference. But when it comes down to different variants, yes, I would say some have pilot seats, some doesn't. Some has power boot, some doesn't. But we'll leave the variant topics for another time. But let's show you the exterior now. So let's move on to the real differences between an Alphard and Vellfire. On my left, we have an Alphard, and on my right, we have a Vellfire. So the major difference that you can actually spot is the headlamp, where the Alphard spots a very bold one block headlamp, and also the Vellfire, as you can see, it is actually separated into two. So other than the headlamp, there's another two differences that tells these two cars apart. Number one is the grille, and secondly is the bumper. So the Toyota Alphard carries a more bold-looking, Transformers-looking type of grille, whereby the Vellfire carries a more sleek and a sportier type of grille. I realized many of my customers, when it comes to purchasing a Vellfire, they are the younger crowd, those that prefer a sportier type of car, and whereby the Alphard, generally the executive, the more matured crowd actually prefers the Alphard. So it's quite obvious. The main difference at the rear would be the tail lamp. For Vellfire is actually transparent, makes it sportier, and the Alphard is more elegant and it carries a red color tail lights. So practically these two cars are exactly the same in terms of engine, gearbox, interior, and you can only tell the differences between the tail lamp, headlamp, bumper, and the grille. So other than that, everything else about these two cars is exactly the same. You know, many people ask me if there are so many similarities between an Alphard and a Vellfire, why does Toyota do this? But in my opinion, that's a very smart and strategic move by Toyota, because in order to cater for their market, for their MPV market, they created more choices in each segment. They have Alphard, Vellfire, Estima, Wish. You know, but at the end of the day, no matter what you buy, it's still a Toyota, and Toyota gets the MPV sales. That's all we have for you this week, and hope that you are able to differentiate between Alphards and Vellfires from now onwards. And hopefully, we're able to help you with your purchasing decision on between Alphards and Vellfires. So that's all we have for you today. Bye. So now we are going to tell you the differences between Alphard and a Vellfire. As you can see from here, the main differences between these both cars is the front, and we'll show you the back later. The front headlamp, if you're noticing, the Vellfire has a distinctive two-layer. How do you call it? Is it called two-layer? So let's move on to the real differences between an Alphard and Vellfire. So on my left, there's an Alphard, and on my right, there's a Vellfire. So the main differences, if you can see, is actually the front. The Alphard headlamp has a more, I would say, more matured, more the more matured, really.
No.